Welcome back to ABC6. February is National Black History Month. It's set aside to reflect and remember the contributions and achievements of Black people all across our country and to look ahead towards ways to honor and include diverse culture in our communities. All month long here at ABC6, we are doing just that. We are highlighting our exemplary guest, and our guest today needs no introduction. You, sir, have made Black history here in the Ocean State as our first Rhode Island State Representative. Gabe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Yes, so we really want to talk about the trailblazing that you have done and really set the path for people all across our state to understand that Black history is still in the making today. So tell us a little bit about what it means to you to have achieved the feat that you have and to sit at such a critical intersection in our nation's history between our state and the nation, and to really advocate on behalf of the needs of all diverse cultures in Rhode Island.
Well, look, it is incredibly important to me that I am reflective of so many communities here in Rhode Island. I stand on the shoulders of giants who came before me. Men, women, people of color, so many folks who frankly exhibited hard work, grit, resilience, and determination so that the successive generations would be able to succeed. But change isn't merely achieved by winning one seat. And so, as I said when I was running, I didn't run to make history. I ran to make a difference. And we have so many things to do, like closing the racial wealth gap, to dealing with so many health disparities, to dealing with home ownership and making that an opportunity that everyone can achieve. So there's lots of work to do, but I am glad to be at the beginning of what I hope is a career fighting for Rhode Islanders.
I think that's excellent. And you touched on so many different points there. Can you tell us within those areas that you mentioned how you feel like you are making a difference, particularly as you vie in Congress for some funding for some of the different programs that we have here?
Yes, that's critically important. When I talk about reducing child poverty, we had, for example, in the first 2 years of the Biden-Harris administration and the Democratic Congress, a child tax credit that was expanded and refundable monthly that cut child poverty by 40% and for Black children by 50%. There's work that we can do to enhance our small businesses. Just this morning, I am going to an event hosted by the Rhode Island Black Business Association on closing the racial wealth gap, where I will talk about some work that I'm looking to do to disaggregate data collection so that we can speak to supporting Black communities, Latino communities, etc., specifically rather than under the vague umbrella of federal definition. So this is important work.
Why is that wealth gap so important? Because it affects literal generations of people, and that is a huge way that you can make a difference.
Well, I think the two biggest equalizers we have are education and the ability to climb the ladders of opportunity by building wealth. And you build wealth in so many ways: through home ownership, you build wealth through the educational attainment you're able to get, you build wealth by investing in small businesses. So the more that we equalize along those categories, the more that we allow people to really take a lead role in creating better outcomes for generations to come.
And as far as making those generational differences, what do you hope your legacy will be that you leave for the future generations and people who may be aspiring to take political roles on your heels as you are now one of the giants?
Yeah, well, look, the responsibility of being first is that you make yourself never the last, right? And so my goal is that everybody, I don't care what you look like, but especially for our Black community, know that everything is possible because hard work and taking risks, but remembering where you came from. I'm the son of to West African immigrants who came to Rhode Island for opportunity, and now in one generation we've gone to Congress. That shows that progress is possible. It is hard, and there will be hurdles, but we have to climb them collectively.
I love that you touched on your background as an immigrant, because we are dealing with some very challenging times right now when it comes to seeing anti-Semitism reflected in some of our communities very quickly. As the last question, how do you think that the struggles that we've seen in Black history may teach us lessons that we can use as we battle anti-Semitism?
I think the biggest things that we can do as it relates to battling anti-Semitism is holding true to our values, making sure that we build coalitions, because I know that we cannot tolerate hate in any segment of our community. And so it is important that we find like-minded allies and we collectively stand against hate, anti-Semitism, against Islamophobia, against racism, against sexism, against the oppressive forces that want to tear us apart instead of bringing us together. And we can do that, but we have to do it together.
Thank you, Gabe Amo, showing us exactly why he is now leading our state and standing in the midst of Congress and advocating for making a difference here in Rhode Island, nationally, and even beyond. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate you so much.